Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. I am proud to say that your girl finally did it. It has been 4 long, sad months. Maybe not 4, maybe 3. I don't know the last time I took a nap on the weekend. It has been insane how long it has been. I can't even remember the last time. But this Sunday, I got to take my very first nap of 2024. It was so good. Let me set the scene for you. Okay, this morning, I almost said gingerly, but it wasn't like gingerly. It was leisurely. I leisurely pulled myself out of bed. Okay, I had planned a hot yoga session with my very best friend Kennedy, and then 2 other, they're Kennedy's friends, but hopefully they'll be my friends soon too, right? Like, it was the 4 of us. We all met to go to a hot bar class. It was so good. We had all of our little yoga mats lined up next to each other. I felt very, very established, very cool. And then suddenly I was sweating like a pig. So that was, that's okay. All right. It's a hot yoga class. Temperatures have been negatives in Kansas City and Missouri. So it was very chilly. But the sauna room was toasty warm. So we did a little bar class. My legs were shaking. My armpits were sweating. The nape of my neck was disgusting. Okay, so much so that I had to give it a little quick blow dry before we went to first watch, and we got a little brunch. Okay, because it was a late yoga class. It started at like 10:30, I think. So it was like perfect brunch time, 11 o'clock. Some people were having lunch by this time, but we had a wonderful brunch. I got a morning meditation. I accidentally called it a morning sunrise there, but I knew that was wrong. But it's like orange juice and turmeric, beet juice. Like, it's so good. I've made it at home before. A little word to the wise, you don't need that much beet juice. I made beet juice. I juiced it at my house, and I had like a gallon of beet juice on accident. I was like, oh, and it really just needs a splash, like literally a little splash. But it was so good. So we had brunch. Next, I made a little pit stop. We'll get into that soon. Somewhere very, very fun. And I came home. Now, with the chilly weather, it is so cold. I went to hop in the shower quick, also rinse off the sweat. And I just suddenly had like very low energy. I was high energy going to the hot bar class. I was high energy hanging out with the gals. Okay, that was so much fun. And then when I got home, I literally didn't want to do anything. And I was like, you know what will make me, get up and go. We're going to take a quick shower. We're going to change into proper attire. We're going to get some things done around the house. And I set a timer for 20 minutes. I said 20 minutes in the shower is long enough. I sat in the shower, and then after the 20 minutes, I was like, this is not enough. But let's get on with it, And I was trying to calculate because by this time it's like 2 o'clock. And I was trying to calculate how, should I drink some coffee? I didn't sleep really good the night before, so I want to make sure that I was going to be able to go to bed. And I was like, should I get coffee or make myself a coffee, or should I just stick it out? I had 3 loads of laundry on the bed. Okay, a mountain of clothes. I was looking for leggings this morning, could not find a single pair of leggings, so I had to quick do a wash and then dry them. But I already had clothes in the dryer, and I had clothes in a basket, so I dumped that basket out. So literally 3 loads by the time I got done with it on the bed, and I was just thinking, it'd be so nice to be cozied up in bed. I don't want to go on the couch. We have a leather couch, and sometimes it takes a little bit to get the leather heated up, right? You sit down on it, it's very cooling, it does warm up, but I did not want to lay on that cold couch. I just got out of the shower. I was in my cozy robe, and I've not done this for so long, ever since I was college, but I just push the clothes. I pushed them a little bit to the side, and I just laid right next to the clothes. So we have my big pillows, and then we have this mountain of laundry, and I wedged myself in between them, and I was like, okay. And I put my hands in a little prayer prayer hands and I put them underneath my head and I took a nap. I set my alarm for 30 minutes. I was like, 30-minute nap, that should be good. Nope, it was an hour and a half, okay? Best nap I've ever taken, because with how, you know, the earth is turned, the sunlight was streaming in at a perfect time. It warmed the bed almost, although it's so cold outside, warmed the bed. I felt so like cradled, honestly, by all of my unfolded clothes. I know for a fact that this is the best nap of 2024 because it's the only nap I've had, and I'm looking forward to more naps. That's something I should have put on my resolutions list, and I'm doing it now. My intentions for 2024 is to have a weekend nap every once in a while. I think it's so good for your soul, mind, body, spirit, all the things, to be restful, you know, and not worry, oh my gosh, I should be doing this or that or whatever. Like, I just find it so nice to leisurely take a nap. Like, that's honestly, that is peak luxury to me, to be able to take a nap whenever you want. I always feel like I should be doing something, working on my goals, working on, you know, my podcast or my social club, or working on my fitness, or like be as a human, or cleaning my house. Like, the list runs wild, okay? And I just think that it's so good to sit and just be appreciative of sleep. And speaking of sleep, it has been a couple late nights lately. I don't know why, but I've been staying up late to finish things, and I haven't been going to bed at a proper time, which is really annoying. Like, I need to be able to go to sleep at a proper time so I can wake up at a proper time, right? And I got home I was running around, I remember, I went to like a workout class, and then I needed to pick up, I record a podcast with Kennedy, and then I need to pick up food for myself. And then I got home at like 9:30. I still needed a shower. I still needed to edit my podcast. And before I went to bed, I was like, Garrett, I promise you, it will take me 15 minutes tops. Like, please do not go to bed without me, because I would love to chat with you. The next day he was leaving to go for a conference. I was like, can we just like get just a little bit of connection before you have to leave? Like, I would love to chat about your day, chat about my day. Although we work together, like sometimes we literally don't talk all day long. And I was like, I promise it'll take 15 minutes, please. Like, I'll be so quick. And he's like, sure, of course. Like, he'd already stayed up this late, right? And he wakes up at 4 o'clock. Like, so whatever. He's hanging out, and I quickly like started editing the audio, which it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I need a adapter for the new microphones that I got, and I haven't got one. It's a whole mess. It doesn't matter. So I was messing with that. That took a little later or longer than I expected. I thought it'd take 5 minutes. It took more like 10 minutes. I was like, okay, that's finally getting exported. I'm gonna hop in the shower soon. 20 minutes, okay? I was 5 minutes late. And I go into the bedroom, and I can hear like TikTok. Like, I can hear someone on a video. I was like, oh, Garrett stayed up, perfect. And I started to walk on his side of the bed, and I realized that it's the same video that's playing. I'm sorry, I didn't walk to his side of the bed. I walked to like the bathroom, and then like as I'm walking to my side of the bed, I can hear his phone like playing the same video. I was like, man, it must be a really good video. And I heard it like play 3 or 4 times. So I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I heard the snore. He had fallen asleep on TikTok. So he's literally snoring, and it's on the video. It's still in his hands like this, just propped up, you know, as he would be scrolling in bed. I was like, this man fell asleep watching TikTok videos, which I appreciate the dedication, like trying to stay up so that, I could chat with him before bed. And I immediately got this like flash of us in 50 years and him falling asleep in front of the TV. Like, maybe we're in our elderly era. I don't know, but I just thought it was so funny, and I did not wake him up. I just like closed his phone, put it on the side table, got in bed, and he literally had no idea. I was like, hey, how'd you sleep, the next morning? He's like, oh, good, I didn't hear you come in. I was like, yeah, that's because you were snoring, like watching TikTok. And I did take a video and I sent it to him. I thought it was hilarious. But I don't know. I think with like the winter weather and it just being cold outside, like I want to hibernate. Okay, like I am struggling wanting to do anything, like to go outside. I knew this would happen, right? Like I knew that with the colder months, the shorter days, like I would want to stay inside. And I have put into place like a couple routines, right? Like I go to a workout class, I have a morning routine, I'm doing things that help, separate my mornings from my afternoons and vice versa, and just trying so hard to stay as motivated and on top of my stuff as possible. But then you also, like, I remind myself, hey, like, it's not summertime. We shouldn't have summertime energy. While we are still looking at our goals and keeping our eye on the prize, we are not going to let, winter take away from a little bit of rest and balancing out the girl bossing with also, hey, like we got to get some things done, right? So I'm trying to be gentle on myself. It's okay to take naps. It's okay to rest, especially in winter, especially when it is so cold. I've had troubles with one of our diesel pickups. I grew up in Northeast Iowa, so I had a diesel pickup. Oh my gosh, I had a diesel pickup growing up in high school, and I would have to plug it in. Since I'm an adult, and things change, right? Like vehicle changes. I now have a gas vehicle, and I love gas. Oh my gosh, like it doesn't gel up. Are you kidding me? This is amazing. But this weekend, Garrett took my vehicle, and I have the diesel, and since the temperatures were so low, it was having trouble starting. It didn't gel up or anything like that, but like the engine was cold, and I was trying to plug it in, and I tripped the breaker to our house several times. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. I was trying to find a breaker that would, hold up or withstand the electricity that needed to warm the engine block. And I had to end up, like, I plugged it on the inside of our house, and then I have the cord like through the garage door and outside, and I kind of got nervous driving it because I met with some of my friends this weekend in Kansas City, and I didn't want it to have trouble starting in Kansas City. So I ended up switching vehicles with my dad. I got to use one of his spare ones. And it's crazy how when you haven't heard or seen or smelt something in so long, and then the memory just like brings you back. I have not had casual radio playing in so long, because as soon as I get in my vehicle, my phone hooks up to the radio and it's playing, my Audible, it's playing my Spotify, it's playing my podcast that I'm listening to. I hardly ever listen to the radio. Never. I don't. That's not something I do. And I was looking for a station. I found a station, and it was like all of the old like bangers from when I was like a kid, not even like high school or college, but more like younger. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember the words. Like there's this Pink song that played. It was just so crazy how I haven't listened to any of those songs in so long, but I couldn't help but sing along. I was like, oh my gosh, like I remember when this came out. This is such a good song. And like just singing along to it, it was so, I don't know, it was fun. And maybe this will convince me to listen to like more radio, but I doubt it. I don't think so. It was just fun to hear some of those throwbacks that I have not heard in so long, like literally ages. And for me to remember the lyrics, like, and not even have to think about it, like it just came out. Like I even questioned myself, like, am I gonna know this song? Like, am I gonna embarrass myself with the lyrics? But I did not. Like, I was very proud of myself. Luckily, Garrett, by the time this episode has came out, he's back home, and I have my vehicle back so that I have my heated seats. I honestly, heated seats are top notch. Like they are amazing. I do wish I had a heated steering wheel. I know this is like, I already have a wonderful vehicle. It is very reliable, all the things, right? But I think a heated steering wheel, my hands get so cold, especially when you get into the vehicle and it's negative temperatures. I do have gloves, right? Like you can wear your gloves, but sometimes like when it takes a little bit for the vehicle to warm up, I don't know, like I think that's something that I would love, is a heated steering wheel. Maybe in the next vehicle, I don't know. This past weekend was the Kansas City Chiefs versus Dolphins game, and I honestly could not believe the fans who went to the game. Personally, I am a social girly. I'm there for the atmosphere. I'm there for talking to people. I'm there for the snacks, all the other things, right? I am not a super fan. There's no way that I would, it was negative degrees, like -3 when I was driving home yesterday. Super, super cold. I cannot believe it. It was just so frigid cold. I felt like my face was gonna shatter and break into a million pieces when I was getting in and out of the vehicle. I don't know how they did it. Honestly and truly, it was so cold. And I saw a couple of videos of people like dressing for the game. They're like, get ready with me to dress for the game. And they have layers upon layers upon layers. And they were putting coats on top of coats, and they had like several layers, which is good because when you are, trying to battle against the cold temperatures, you want that air in between to get trapped, and that's what helps keep you warm. I cannot believe it though. There's no way I would have gone to that game. And maybe I love a football game. I'm gonna cheer for the Chiefs because I live in Missouri. I do love the Chiefs. I've gone to 2 official Chiefs games, right? Like, I think it's so fun. And I'm glad that we have a sports team, right? I grew up in Iowa and we didn't have a sports team. We have 2 college teams, Iowa State and Hawkeye, that were very, very popular, but we did not have an NFL team. So it is fun to cheer for it. And of course, I was born in Missouri and I have a lot of pride for Missouri. But I cannot imagine going to I cannot imagine going to the game and just wearing jeans or something. Like, there's some videos of people not dressed properly, being so cold. If you looked at Andy Reid's mustache, it was completely iced over. It looked like a cinder block of just ice and hair and snot and disgusting. Oh my gosh, cannot. But also think about all the Miami fans who flew out. That's dedication. They love their team. And also it was I think it was the coldest game in the history of Arrowhead. That's the coldest game that they've ever hosted there. And think about the players. They are in some warmer gear, right? Some of them wear long sleeves underneath their jersey. Some don't. Some just have their skin. I truly do not know. They are athletes. They are so good at their job. I think I would have cried. I did hear that they have heated benches and that, that's nice, but players, when they get off the field, they'll take off their helmet and put it on the heated bench so that it will help defrost it. And I think that's why Mahomes's helmet got busted, because it was so cold, the plastic shattered. I don't know. It is insane. The temperatures are so cold. I cannot imagine being a Miami fan coming to Missouri and being so cold. I saw Alex Earl went. Her outfit was so cute. Taylor Swift went. Her outfit was so cute. They were selling tickets for $15, and there were some tickets that were very close to the field that people were selling for $200, which is insane. Crazy to pay that little, but people didn't want to go. And the people who don't normally get to go to the Chiefs game, they were ready to hop on their opportunity to see the Chiefs up close and personal. And I guess it would be kind of cool, you were a part of history. But there's no way I would have been out there. I get cold in my heated house. If I don't wear socks, my feet are cold, okay? I need the warmth. I have a sweatshirt, I have long pants on, I am staying warm. Those are the things that I need. Not being outside for multiple hours. It was hard enough. We went Thanksgiving, the Monday of Thanksgiving. We went to the Chiefs versus Philadelphia Eagles game, and it rained on us, and I thought it was cold then. Now I'm thinking, oh, in comparison, that was warm. Okay, that was so much warmer. But you have to give props to the fans and to all of the players out there. that's amazing. That's great. Personally, for me, I ventured out in the cold. I am definitely in my movie era. Okay, I am absolutely loving watching movies, watching shows. I think it's so fun. I talked about going to see Wonka in the beginning of December. We saw Anyone But You on Christmas Day. I think that is so fun. And with Garrett being gone, I really didn't want to just stay in the house. I wanted to take myself out on dates, whether by myself or to see friends, right? And Friday, I didn't have any plans, but I had been in the house all day, right? Like I did not have any interaction because Garrett had left for his conference. And so once work got done, I was like, what am I gonna do? I did the dishes, but the upkeep, honestly, when it's just me and the dogs, is nothing. Like literally nothing. It's so quick. It's when Garrett and I are together and we're making meals or we're just interacting and living life. The house somehow gets completely messy, but when he's gone, it's fine. I don't know. What's the correlation? Anyways, so I was like, hey, I was like, you know what? I really wish that I had something to do tonight. And I was thinking, you know what? I have been wanting to see the new Mean Girls movie. I do not think that Garrett would have gone and saw it with me though. I didn't ask, but I also just think, you know what? Like, I want to enjoy a movie by myself. Sometimes I feel pressure. Like if I invite someone to the movies or invite someone to an event or a concert or something, I immediately have this pressure that I want it to be a good time for them too. And I feel guilty or at fault if something goes wrong. Like say the performer had an off day and they just weren't doing the best. I'd be like, oh gosh, like the entire time I'd be like, this person is bombing. I feel so bad. I can't believe I invited, my friend, family member, whatever, to this event. And I just have this immediate pressure that I want it to be good. And I just keep thinking, oh, are they enjoying this? Is this fun for them? And so I didn't want to discredit my experience for someone else's experience. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna invite Garrett, right, to go. He doesn't even like Mean Girls, the original, honestly. So why would I make him sit through it and then me the entire time thinking, oh my gosh, he's probably hating this, right? So I decided I was gonna take myself out on a movie date all by myself. I'm just gonna go, and I kind of chickened out almost. I kept going back and forth in my head. Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? And with the cold temperatures, I was like, should I be risking driving in this weather? It wasn't really snowing or anything. It was just cold, okay? It was just cold. The roads are fine, for the most part. They're fine. And I was like, you know what? You will get there safe. And then I kept having this inner dialogue on, what if people think that I am a loser? What if they think, oh my gosh, this girl has no friends, or this girl has nobody that she could even call on to go to the movies with? I don't know. I was just making up so many scenarios in my head of how others were going to perceive me by going to the movies alone. And as I was getting ready, because I wanted to change from my leggings to something a bit warmer, like sweatpants, right? And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. I just felt really insecure for a moment. Really, really insecure. And I was like, you know what? There's probably not even anybody at the movie theaters. If I'm second guessing to go, I'm sure other people are second guessing to go, and it's cold, nobody's gonna be there. And I finally convinced myself, hey, you're a person and it's okay to do things by yourself. You don't have to have your friends. You don't have to have a spouse or a family member. You can go out and experience life on your own. And I really try to practice my independence whenever possible. Independence from my job, independence from my husband, independence from my friends, and see the world through my own eyes instead of the influence of others. I did a couple solo trips. I went to Scottsdale, Arizona. I went to Austin, Texas. I went to, there's another place that I went by myself. Anyways, traveling by yourself, going to events, going to things that you want to go to just because you want to go to them, and not worrying about what other people are going to perceive you as. And I don't often get to practice in the way that you would want, because if I say, oh, like, I want to go to the movies, Garrett will be like, oh, I'll go with you. Or if I'm talking to my friend, like, oh, like, I think I'm going to plan this trip. Oh, it was Chicago. I went to Chicago by myself. Because hopefully I'll get to go in the next month too, to Chicago. And I was like, oh, like, if I want to go on this trip, should I invite someone to be like more safe? And I like sometimes will psych myself out or talk to other people and then they want to go. And I try to take advantage of any opportunity I have to practice independence and do things by myself, right? It seems like it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but when was the last time like you took yourself out to supper and like ate by yourself? Or you went to the movies by yourself? Or think about going to a trampoline park by yourself or a amusement park, say like roller coasters by yourself. Makes you uncomfortable, right? Like you're thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I could do that. And then you really think about the logistics and you're like, ooh, maybe I could not do that, right? And as I was trying to hype myself up, I decided that I was going to go in there with as much energy as possible. I was going to be really nice, because if the movie theater is not busy, right, like if there's not a lot of people there, they're going to know I'm coming alone, right? Like when I go up there, I'm like, 1 ticket, please. They are going to be like, this girl has no friends, and that's okay. But I got my ticket and there was actually quite a bit of people there. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? They don't know if my friends are already here or not. They don't know if my friends are inside and I'm meeting them there. And then I started to feel a little bit better about myself. And I was like, yeah, they don't know if I have a friend in there or not. I got to the movie theater early enough that the lights were still on. And so people saw me sit by myself. That's okay. I refuse to sit in the back row, like in the top. I prefer middle, okay? I want to see the TV. I don't want to have to strain my eyes. I don't want to look down on the TV. I want to look straight across at the TV. And when I got into the movie theater, I was walking in. I was like, oh, there's a perfect spot. That's where I want to go. And of course, it was just 2 seats down from a whole group of like 6 or 7. I feel like everybody was in clumps at this movie. It was like a clump of 8, a clump of 12, a clump of 6. And then there's me by myself. And I was like, hopefully the lights will go down. The movie will start. They will think, oh, like that person just, their date's running late. I don't know. I was just making up stuff. And really and truly, nobody cares. And I will never see any of those people again. And even if there was someone there that I had known, who cares? I wanted to see Mean Girls and I went to watch it. I went to experience it on my own. I didn't want to have the influence of any other person. I just want to sit there in my cozy big coat. I like laid it over my blankets. Or I'm sorry, I didn't bring a blanket. I laid my coat over my legs like a blanket. The next day I actually did go to the movies with a friend and I brought a blanket. Game changer. I don't know why I always get nervous about bringing stuff into the movie theater, like a blanket or a cup of water, but I did just get a new cup and I love my Stanley cup, okay? She is my girl. She is always next to me. It's a lime green one. She's right here. I always have her. But I did pick up a Walla water bottle because it closes and I am going on a trip to Florida in about a month, which will be so good in comparison to this cold like weather, right, in Missouri. And as I was thinking, I am gonna go to Disney World and I am not gonna be able to carry my Stanley around. I'm gonna be able to like throw it in a kava bag and have it shut fully. It's also a bit bulky. It's 40 ounces in comparison to like a 24 ounce. My yoga class, sometimes I accidentally knock over my Stanley. I don't want to do that. While I will still have my Stanley at home and use it at all times, I wanted something that had a lid, that capped over. And I realized that I cannot easily sneak a Stanley inside the movie theater. I'm pretty sure you're allowed to bring like water cups into the movie theater, but I always, again, this is just social, like being socially awkward sometimes. I'm like, oh gosh, like what if they think it's alcohol, or what if they think I'm trying to sneak soda in or something, right? And if you have a water that caps and can be put at the bottom of your bag, and you can throw a blanket on top, are you kidding me? Like that is excellent. That is perfect. I need to find like a bigger, smaller bag, you know, like something that isn't my Lululemon crossbody, but isn't like gigantic, massive, that they're like, how many candies do you have in there? But I'm like, okay, new water jug going at the bottom, big blanket right on top. I'm bringing, like, I want to be cozy at the movie theater. I don't want to dress up. I'm never going to wear jeans to the movie theater, soft pants only. Bonus, if the movie theater has like the really soft cushiony seats, those are my favorite. Oh my gosh, the reclined ones, the heated ones, now you're talking. Like I love feeling like I'm at home at the movies. The theater in Warrensburg does not have heated seats, does not have reclining seats, nothing cool like that. The one in Leawood that I go to, or Overland Park, both of those are amazing. They're so good. But I was like, yeah, it's a bit cold. Like I'm so happy for this big jacket. I felt like I was at home. I like the big screen. I want to see all the people, all the things, but to feel cozy, to feel like you're cuddled up on the couch, my favorite thing. So here I am, sitting alone, 2 seats in between a row of 6. There's a row right in front of me, about 6 or 7. Again, clumps. They're clumped everywhere. And I knew going in that Mean Girls was a musical, okay? I had seen a couple TikToks about it. I had seen the little music symbol in the like print ad, like the cover or the banner, or whatever you want to call it. I knew it was a musical. I knew that it was going to be a hot take. Like it was something, a twist. It was a twist. It was going to have something different than Mean Girls. Plus, when you are making Mean Girls again, they're recasting, okay? Like I knew it was going to be different. I knew that things were going to be, it's a loose story, right? Like you're just going in, it's musical style. I loved it, okay? I thought that was okay. I'm here for it. We saw Wonka. That's also a musical. Musicals are good. Musicals are great. They make me very happy. So it gets started, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you've seen Mean Girls, I'm sure. And it starts with, it's like a big black screen, and then it has like a little square, like it's a cell phone. And the starting bit is like they're recording themselves for a TikTok or a video. But it's up and down, so you can bet it's a TikTok. It wasn't sideways like YouTube. It wasn't like on the Instagram platform. You knew it was for TikTok, 100%. Where else are we posting videos? Come on. And so it has the opening scene, and they're starting to sing. She has like a guitar, I'm pretty sure. The 6 or 7 people in front of me stand up, and they walk out. I think they said like something disgruntled. They were like, ugh, or something like that. Like it wasn't loud, it wasn't obnoxious. They didn't throw their popcorn, but they, like at first I thought it was just one person, because it was like one person and then the rest kind of like froze, like, you know, an accordion, no, like a graph or something. It was like 1, 1, 1, 1, and they're all up, and then they just like walked out. So I don't know if they accidentally went into this one, like they got the numbers wrong. They're like, oh, Studio 5, but we're for Studio 7 or whatever, and they walked out. I was like, did they not know it was a musical? Did they not have the context clues? Or did they accidentally like go into the wrong movie set? you know, they thought it was 4 and they were supposed to be in 5 or whatever. Totally bizarre behavior. And they did not come back. Not at all. They did not come back. And I was like, oh, okay. Like they're done. Like they're not interested. This is not for them. And I was like, I can't imagine paying tickets. You know, it's like $30 for me to go with a movie, popcorn, whatever, and then to leave. Hey, I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that Golden Hour Drip has a weekly newsletter that comes out. This has bonus content, weekly updates, and future event information. If you haven't already, go down to the show notes, click the link, and join today. Now, back to the show. The intro starts and I am immediately immersed in this new twist of Mean Girls. I will say, I think that this was the best that they could have done, really and truly, because when you're making a remake or when you're taking a classic movie, making it into a musical, or even making the production of a musical to TV, because I get it, like, a lot of things are made into musicals and then we don't necessarily get to see them on the big screen. I really do think that the music and musical industry coming to theaters is so amazing. I know that Taylor Swift, again, to bring Taylor Swift up again, to have her Eras tour, like, go to the movies, and then I'm pretty sure Beyonce with the Renaissance tour brought that to the movies. Having these like immersive shows to the movies, I think is amazing. I just finished a stand-up special from Claudia from The Toast. She did a Lean In special. It's on Amazon. I went ahead, purchased it. That's $4.50 or whatever I spent all week, honestly. In these interactive, like comedy show, not interactive, live audiences sometimes. I don't know, like it's a mix. I'm going in different directions right here, but I think that the events and the experiences that you have to buy tickets to, whether that is a comedy show, a concert, a musical, right? Like those are art productions. To then bring them to the theater is unmatched. I think that's such a good idea. It expands and broadens the audience to other people, someone who's not in New York and can just like go to a Broadway musical at any time, or someone who couldn't afford tickets to go to the big concert. I just think that it's a great way to open up and to allow everyone to experience the magic. So I like it. I think that it's great. While I haven't seen the Eras tour or I haven't seen Renaissance, I've heard so many good things about how those shows and movies are immersive and amazing and so beautiful and touching. I think that the Mean Girls movie, it was the best that they could have done. Maybe they could have changed a few things, but honestly, like I think that the demographic that they were trying to reach was reached. The outfits, a lot of people had backlash about the outfits. I get it, okay? If you compare the plastics from Mean Girls, they were in more of your traditional, like, luxury outfits. They had heels on, skirts, but really that isn't what's popular right now. And I think for the Mean Girls movie to be recreated, they had to go mainstream. The youth and Gen Z, I technically am part of Gen Z, so I will take that. I'm the in-between, you know, millennial, Gen Z, whatever. Zillennial, I think it doesn't matter, honestly. But I think that if you would have put the Mean Girls cast in outfits that were similar to the first movie, I don't see any of the kids in high school wanting to gravitate to that, right? Like we're not really a formal society right now. We don't have mini skirts with a pump or a fitted blazer. Like that is more millennial. And when the Mean Girls movie came out originally, that was in. That's what the it girls were wearing. Well, if you look at Regina George's, Renee Rapp's outfit, a lot of people said, oh my gosh, Regina George would never wear cargo pants. But if you look at all of the it girls or the popular girls on trending apps or in schools or whatever, they're not wearing mini skirts and heels to class. They are wearing cargo pants and a baby tee. They are wearing the chunky sneaker. So while I think that one of the tops that she wore, it was like in the promo, it was pink and had like the ripped, oh my gosh, it had like a fitted bodice, and it like went, oh my gosh, it's a fitted bodice basically. It did look like it was from a Fashion Nova or a Shein. Like, it was very, I could imagine getting that in the mail, really and truly. Like, I could imagine, because I've put on a top like that before and thought, oh my gosh, I can't wear this. Like, it's too cheap. Like, that wasn't the look that I was going for. I didn't like that outfit. I loved her cargo pants though. I think cargo pants are cute. And a little fitted top, like, that is the style. And her, although I just don't like that top, I think that her style is very on par for the individuals who want to go see Mean Girls. Like, I truly think that it's getting a lot of backlash because people are holding too tightly to the idea of the old Mean Girls. And I just don't think that, although that movie is iconic and people love it, I think that no matter what Tina Fey did for this movie, it would not have been as good as the first. You see it all the time with sequels, prequels, what's it called? Like, recasting or whatever. Like, we become attached to the original, right? So the original is the best for a reason. That's why we love it so much. But even if they were putting mini skirts and heels and stuff, people will be like, oh, that doesn't look like the real Regina George. Okay, it's a completely new actress. It is a totally new era, a new time. Fashions has changed, and I just don't think that it would have made sense if she was like in the typical attire. Now, this entire time I've talked about the Mean Girls movie, I've only talked about Regina. And let's just take a little thought there. In the promos, Renee Rapp is up front and Caddy Heron is to the side, or at least from what I've seen, most of the promotional. Katie was the main character, but I don't know. I think that we were allowed to love Regina George in this movie. I don't think that they showed enough of Regina being mean to the other plastics or mean to Katie. Like, I didn't really see that. In the first movie, I kind of felt like Regina George was mean. In this one, I didn't really see it. And so it made me love the character even more. And I was like, oh, Katie, you're a brat. Like, that's so hateful. Why would you make her, like, eat those candy bars? Like, what'd she do to you? Yes, I get it. She made out with a boy. But that just goes to show, like, oh my gosh, Sabrina Carpenter's, Because I Loved a Boy, Because I Liked a Boy, that song, come on. No, I know it was sinister. I know that I get the storyline. Okay, I love Mean Girls. But I think that Regina George was definitely the star of the show. And you could say that she was the star of the show in Mean Girls, but you also fall in love with Lindsay Lohan and you fall in love with Katie and you're rooting for her. I wasn't necessarily rooting for Katie in Mean Girls 2. Honestly, I was like, she's all right. Like, I don't know. Like, Renee Rapp definitely has like an essence to her. I loved her song. It was so, oh gosh, like the best part is like her solo. It's in the cafeteria. You've seen it. People have been posting about it. It's like, I am Regina George. So good. Oh Oh my gosh, I love that song. It was so cute. Second song, I did not like any of Katie's songs. I don't know. And I like musicals. I think that the song about being a sexy mouse with Karen, that one was so funny. And I love that actress. I think that she was so good. And Gretchen Wieners, yeah, could have taken it, could have left it, you know. I do think that the actress who played Regina George's mom, I actually liked it. I know a lot of people said that they didn't think that actress was the best for the role, but I loved her in White Chicks, and I think for her to be in the movie is kind of iconic because she was a part of the movies like White Chicks that were going around at that time that Mean Girls was produced. So I thought it made sense for her to be in it, and I really liked her as an actress. I also think that Renee Rapp looked like her. Like I thought it was well done. I like the casting. Would I see it again in theaters? Probably not. In comparison to say, like, I've seen Anyone But You twice in theaters now. I went this past weekend, literally Friday night, went to the movies. Saturday night, went to the movies. I'm in my movies era. I'm loving AMC movie theaters. So good. I just downloaded the app onto my phone. This is so dumb. I've had the rewards for multiple years. And I just realized that I have points on there and I can like redeem stuff. And I don't know, like I've never downloaded the app, and this is like kind of niche. I don't know. But I would always want to go to the movies. Like as a kid, we in our small town in Iowa had a 99-cent movie theater when I was in middle school and high school. I think it's gone to $1 now or $5 now, but it was 99 cents when I was in high school. That was amazing. Okay, they had a movie playing every Friday night, a new movie. It was a new movie every week. Sometimes it wouldn't be like the hot release, but it was always good. I loved going to the movies. So much fun. When I went to visit my dad here in Missouri, I remember searching Warrensburg movie theater, and it like wanting to misspell Warrensburg, and on the, like I vividly remember typing in Warrensburg movie theater and it being so long to type out, like Warrensburg movie theater. I don't know. I just remember it being so annoying. And with the app, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like this is so easy. Maybe they didn't have the app back then, but I'm like, I'm loving this. Okay. I would probably watch Mean Girls the musical again at home. Like I'd probably throw it on, but I probably wouldn't go back to the theaters. I am glad that I saw it. A lot of people said the e.l.f. placement of the product was really annoying, but what can you say? You gotta pay for a movie somehow or another. The Barbie movie had the, was it Chevy cars in it? I don't know. They had like a little vehicle ad. Listen, people have got to pay for their movies in one way or another, and the product placement, people are talking about it. People are talking about e.l.f. Personally, I like e.l.f. I have several products from e.l.f. and I can see what they were trying to do. Katie Heron is using e.l.f. product. I'm gonna use e.l.f. product. Okay, I get it. Some other people are like, oh, that was too much. Like I've put them on my list never to buy. If they have enough money to pay for product placement in a movie, don't you think they have enough money to make a good product? I don't know. That's what I think sometimes. I'm like, like they paid for marketing. They must be doing pretty well in comparison to if they don't have any sales, they're not really making enough money and their marketing is bad. But to be in Mean Girls, I don't know. To be in the Barbie movie, come on. They had to be shelling out some big bucks. So I like e.l.f. I didn't find that the product placement was too terrible. I did like have a couple marketing classes in college, so I always look out for that kind of thing in general, like, oh, they had a Coke ad, or oh, like they're using a specific toothpaste. Like I've always noticed that, so it wasn't really a big deal to me. But I just think going back to the movies, and if you go to it was the acceptance speech by Margot Robbie. She for the Golden Globes, she was like, this was the year that we got dressed up and we went back to the movies. I've always loved the movies, really and truly. And I will say with like the writer's strike and with COVID, like I didn't get to go to the movies as often or like I would have wanted. But I'm ready for it. I'm ready for them to keep rolling out new movies. I will say I went to go see Iron Claw. Come on, Jeremy Allen, so cute. We did just finish The Bear, 2 weeks ago, so I'm ready to see him again. And then I want to see Poor Things as well. And while I was watching the commercials from Mean Girls, they did an ad for Bob Marley. It's called One Love. It's coming out February 14th. I am so excited. Okay, I won't be able to watch it opening day, but I will be watching it as soon as I get back. Like, I will be wanting to watch it. So I just thought it was so, I don't know, like the intro, the little movie trailer, it was very, very, I don't know. I want to go see it. It was intriguing, I will say. But if I'm in my movie area, I am also in my craft area because I have noticed, okay, we're doing some changes to the Golden Hour Drip. Like, I'm updating things. It's new. February will be our 4th year. I am wanting to just update, refresh, do all the things. I've had the same cover art for the last 2 years. I'd love to update that. I also know, and this is because I have commitment issues, that the walls behind me are a little bit bleak. If you watch on YouTube, you see it. Okay, I have a cream colored chair, and this chair I reupholstered myself with a blanket from Walmart, and it's okay. It's kind of wobbly, like it's not really like that stable. Behind me, the wall is very bland, and I used to do a thumbnail for YouTube that had color and words on it. I'm moving away from that. Okay, we updated a couple things. Go check us out on YouTube and see what I did. But I've noticed, and in my house in general, that we're lacking character. We're lacking character. What can I say? This is the millennial and my zillennial coming out. Like, I have a little bit of a commitment issue, or maybe it's because I feel overwhelmed by too many things. I feel overwhelmed by when things clash or when I have too much stuff. And so it's really hard for me to want to invest in anything when I know I might not like it in years to come. Like, that's scary to me. I don't know why, but I've always had this problem. And I want to make some changes. I'm thinking like a pale blue behind me. I think that would be so cute. And I went to the thrift store. Our Salvation Army in town is moving, and they are basically like cleaning house, clearing out all the things from their store, and a new business is going in there. So I went to look around, see what they had, and I picked up a couple photo frames. These have like matted frames in them, very cute. No, I'm just kidding. They're ugly, they're outdated. People don't want them in their houses anymore. And I looked around, there was a couple good frames. I got 2 big frames that were like priced at $6 a piece. And then I got like 2 smaller frames like for $3 and $2. This past weekend I hit up another, I think Goodwill or Salvation Army or Savers, and I picked up another frame. I want to paint in the frames. I want to take out whatever artwork is in there. I want to either paint over it, because it's really just reproduction, okay? And even if the reproduction was, I don't know, $60 at one time, $100, $400, at this point, I don't really care. I don't. It's like some of the most famous paintings were painted over, and this is a replica of a painting. So I went to Marshalls. Where did I go? Michael's. I went to Michael's, and I picked up a couple art supplies. I've not had any art supplies for a while. I like cleaned out my brushes from college. They got me through quite a few cooler makings. Like I painted a couple coolers. They got through like crafting for sorority, and they were a bit beat up, and I threw them all away when we moved into this house. They were crusty, dusty, falling apart, glue, like it was just bad. When I ran for homecoming my senior year in college, like they also got put through the ringer for our float. I forgot about that. I think that was like the last nail in the coffin. when we were painting on plywood, and it was also kind of chilly trying to finish it up. So I went and I bought new brushes and I bought acrylic paints. I almost bought oil paints, but I got a little nervous. I was like, I can't remember the last time I painted with oil paints. I better stick to what I know for the time being. So I got some acrylic paints, I got some new paintbrushes. I did get some heavy media paper, so in case like I totally wreck like taking apart the frames, like it'll be okay. But I am gonna try my hand at being crafty. I used to be really artistic and crafty. Like I would draw and color and paint and do all these things when I was younger, and I want to get back into my hobbies. I want to get back into creating with my hands. And of course, if you've seen on TikTok, there's a new trend, mob wife. You know, it's like the fur coats and stuff. I am gonna have to go grab my fur coat from my dad's house. I think it's upstairs in storage, but it's fine. Okay, and people are saying that there's gonna be a remake of The Sopranos. I promise, like we're coming along. It's gonna connect. I know I went from painting to The Sopranos, but I have never seen The Sopranos. I've never watched it. I don't know why, but I would love to. So tonight I'm having a little craft night. I am pulling out these frames. I am going to be taking off like the little cardboard covering in the back, pulling it out, seeing what I can do, like with the matted photos in the back, if I'm just gonna like throw them away, or if I'm gonna paint over them, or if I'm gonna use like the new like paper I got. I don't know, but I am gonna have a craft night. I am going to make some commitment to my walls behind me. I want to not recreate the space, but kind of update and refresh the space behind me. I'm in my office all day long. I would like to invest a little bit more into my home and to the things that I surround myself with. And what better way than to repurpose some frames that were honestly going to be thrown out? Because when I got to the desk with the frames, and I also bought a new hat. It's like this vintage hat. I thought it was in this room. Maybe it's not. I got this vintage hat from one of the restaurants in my town, and I was like, oh, like 2010, like how fun, how cute. He rang me up as $2. I said, did you get the frames, not just the hat? And he goes, yeah, I got it all. And I was like, $2? I see it's 50% off. Like that's what your sign says. And he goes, if nobody buys this, like I'm gonna have to haul it out. So I appreciate you coming and purchasing it. And I was like, you bet. So $2 for 4 frames and a hat. What can I say? I spent, you know, if I would have gone out, bought some frames, and already had paint, I went and I had to buy paint. I spent like $58 on paint brushes and paper. So I needed to save something for my frames, right? Like I needed to even out this budget a little bit. And I see all the time people create these really beautiful masterpieces on social media. And I'm like, you know what? I can do that. I am crafty. I am good. It's going to be amazing for my brain just to get some creative juices out. And I'm gonna watch The Sopranos. I'm not sure where I can find The Sopranos. I'm not sure if it's on Amazon or Hulu or where. Right now we're paying for a couple streaming platforms. So I think we have HBO, Hulu, because we did the Hulu like $1 something or like $2 for 3 or 6 months or something like that. So we have HBO, we have Hulu, we have Netflix, we have Amazon. Like that's 4 streaming platforms. Surely The Sopranos is on one of those, but I would love to be in the know, right, with this show. I know a lot, maybe I have seen it, like, and I just don't remember it, but I'm going to be watching that. I want to be up to date and current with all these new trends on social media. And so I was like, hey, what the heck? Like, I might as well watch it, have a little girls' night, do a little painting. I will say, I need to clean out my other crafts. I have a lot of sewing supplies and embroidery supplies. Maybe I'll take up embroidery again. That was super fun. I did like hats and pants and things. I'm in my crafting and movie era, okay? I want to sit, I want to watch a show, and I want to do something with my hands. And I think this weather is perfect time for that because it's so cold outside. What else are you going to do? Okay? You're not going to go outside and run. You're not going to go outside and garden. I might as well paint a beautiful garden or olives. Or I have seen like oysters. I want to try and paint that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I will probably paint a blue board and like have some abstract action going on. But whatever it is, I know it'll be absolutely perfect. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I don't know what you're doing tonight, but thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!